And welcome, folks, to another edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. This is where I get with the brothers I love. These my fellas. We talk sports away from talk shows and message boards. So I say, hey, man, the way we talk, why don't we just bring it to the people? Why don't we bring our normal conversations to the people and just make them PG rated? And it seemed like a good idea because I know my man Devin Gardner knows sports. Devin's so popular. I mean, he got women falling all over. It's like, please tell Devin I want to meet him. Right? I want to see him. I want to meet him. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not
propaganda.
Daniel, am I exaggerating?
No, it's all hey, fans, people, my dropping dimes people, all propaganda. Don't listen to nothing that he says.
Hey, they say I'm eating the seaweed, drinking the goji berry juice. Hey, he's living a healthy lifestyle. They want to be a part of it. DJ.
Own people. I swear.
Don't get twisted. They'll be asking for my man Daniel too, but they know Daniel got a wife. We seen your lovely wife come on the screen before, right?
Yes, sir.
And I know better. My wife will cut me. She's already told me all kinds of stuff.
I don't know if y'all know or not. Sam is currently bleeding internally from something he might do.
He is. Hey,
something
like
he might do. He ain't do it yet.
She threatens me for stuff other people do. I'm like, how am I getting caught up in something somebody else did? Some movie. I get flack for dreams. It ain't even real stuff. So anyway, that's why they come after. It's like, Devin, their young gentleman, Fox Sports rising star, soon to be, big noon kickoff guy. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen, right? And so,
I just need tickets to the show, DG.
Right. So, hey, listen, ladies, if you're interested in DG, just drop it in the comments. We'll holler at you. All right. At any rate, because we make love connections too around here. At any rate, what is this show all about? The show is all about sports. Every now and then, my young fellas over here, they'll show their youth with their distorted rap rankings. Because we got a lot of comments on that last week. It's like, oh man, these dudes don't know what they're talking about. I did get a few stragglers who were talking about I had J. Cole too high, which I might a little agree with now, based on the fact that he apologized to Kendrick. I was very, very disappointed in that.
That broke my heart, boy.
It broke my heart too. I was like, come on, man.
Hey, it was like the first time you saw Roy Jones get knocked out, right?
Man, that's like when the Fat Boys broke up. Like, come on, man, this can't be true.
Hey, but Drake came nuclear though.
Yeah.
See, Drake playing. The first comeback he's done. I'm surprised that he had anything to say.
He knows too much. I think he knows too much.
You would think,
man.
I think he knows some stuff. I think that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Any song that can make you be a better father. That's what Pusha T did to him.
That's what he did.
You were a deadbeat dad. It turned you from a deadbeat dad into a present dad. Man, I mean, he did the world a service, but man, that's what Pusha T did to him. Come on, man.
Sam, you have a wife. Daniel has a wife. This man, Drake, put this man's wife in the song, and then hit him with a double entendre. I'll be with a bodyguard like Whitney. Whitney, who is his wife, cheated on him with a bodyguard. Whitney Houston was in the movie Bodyguard. I mean, that line alone, he should have just put that line out and then just been done with the whole song. The song was great. That is fighting. I'm going to fight you.
Yeah.
You got to fight him. And
see, Drake showing he's been in fights before, though, right? He's been in rap battles before, right?
He must have been at the lunch table with us.
Hey, J. Cole out here apologizing. I told Sam he had that man too high, man. That's the college kid.
That was disappointing. All right. This is too long of an intro. Steady Dropping Dimes. It's the show where we do bring in pop culture. We do bring in what's going on in the world, in the entertainment world, but mostly sports. Heavy emphasis on what's going on around the University of Michigan, and college athletics. And then we obviously venture off into the pros, both football and basketball. Real sports opinions from real guys, real friends that we bring into you real every single week, courtesy of our friends at Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guides to all things Ann Arbor, places to go, places to stay, places to eat, events coming to town, your resource for all of the happenings in Washtenaw County, Destination Ann Arbor. You can find them as your resource at annarbor.org. We're going to be putting up a QR code that you can scan. Very easy to scan it, bookmark it on your phone. You're coming in Washtenaw County. Hell, you live in Washtenaw County and you want to know what's happening this weekend. Where should I go to eat? What's up? You can find out by checking out Destination Ann Arbor. So we'll tell you more about the latest and greatest around Washtenaw County and the I Love Ann Arbor segment coming up a little bit later on in the show. But, I think someone who might be frequenting Destination Ann Arbor to figure out where to go, places to eat, and that kind of thing is Dusty May. Because old Dusty has a lot of players coming to town. He's already had a couple of portal visitors. He has a few more portal visitors coming this weekend. You got Trey Donaldson from Auburn. You got you have the Roddy Gale from Ohio State, who's slated to come in as well. Just saw, and I'm waiting to see if I can get some confirmation here, if that is indeed the case. Okay, so there were some reports about Johnell Davis coming in this weekend, and I'm told that is not accurate at the moment. But I do wonder, just in passing, Daniel, you talked about if you were Johnell Davis, you'd be going to the pros. It's sounding like that's not going to be the course of action for him.
That's if I had the opportunity. Now, if you get feedback that you need to go back to school and you need more development, then you got to weigh your options. And you know what that comes down to, Sam. At the end of the day, the kid was player of the year in this conference. He was a really good player at FAU. So he's and I'm pretty sure he has an agent. So I know they're looking for top dollar leaving FAU. Mm-hmm. So even though Dusty's here, they're going to have to compete. But I think for me, if I'm him, I'm looking for a combination of both, right? Like if Michigan can offer me something comparable to what other schools are offering, and I can also go play with my coach and my former teammates, a couple of my former teammates are going to join me, then Michigan is obviously the best option for him. So I mean, hopefully, like you say, if he does come back to college and he doesn't get the grade he wants as far as his NBA prospects, then hey, come on back and go to Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got they are definitely looking good with Vlad Golden, the big fella from FAU as well. That has been widely reported that Michigan was from the moment that that Dusty was in the mix. We were hearing from people in that orbit that would be not just a possibility, but a likelihood that Vlad Golden would matriculate to Ann Arbor. But the thing, I mean, there's always layers and levels to it. Because people say, well, why didn't this happen already? I mean, guys have a lot of different considerations. Like you were saying, Daniel, you were saying with Johnell Davis, you got to survey, evaluate your NFL prospects. I'm sure the same thing is the case for a guy like Vlad Golden. An interesting name. I gotta sort of change my behavior when it comes to Scottie Pippen. Because it's sounding like things are looking real promising with Scottie Pippen's kid. As far as Michigan is concerned, his son Justin is looking like a real strong possibility, and so I gotta put all my bad boys hate DG. I gotta put it to the side because we might have a Pippen wearing a Michigan uniform. So right. you can't hate on Pippen for at least there's a moratorium on Pippen hate. If Justin Pippen
I don't hate Pippen. He been through enough. His son with like Jordan, all that stuff. I don't got no animosity towards him.
Yeah,
been through enough. He don't need me piling on.
Yeah, that's kind of like Pusha T on Drake. Marcus Jordan with your ex. Oh, bro. Oh my God.
Better leave that alone, man.
I'm not gonna go too far off on the tangent.
We need him.
He might wind up being a Wolverine. Got a lot of questions about young Aiden Holloway from Auburn, who Michigan recruited. But I think I think the young man, look, Charlotte native, his mom, granddad, Michigan alum, his sister is going to be on the women's basketball team coming up. A lot of questions about, oh man, this seems like a no-brainer. But I think that, you have a situation where you can't, everybody's not going to want to come. Guys who play the same position, guys that might come from the same school. I mean, that's just not.
Man, let's keep it real. The kids should have came here out of high school. Like, what are we doing? That's what Michigan has to win these recruiting battles out of high school. The kids' parents went to Michigan. His sister's coming to Michigan. Like, come on, man. Like, my daughter.
But wait, let's pause first. His sister is going to be a freshman this year. That's number one. And then if you rewind the tape, these recruitments can be they can get personal, right? Yeah. Not personal in an animosity sort of way, but personal in a hurt feeling sort of way. So the Aiden Holloway recruitment, I think, was scarred by Michigan's prioritization of Jeremy Fears, who wound up at Michigan State. Yeah. And so if you're Aiden Holloway and you're like, you know what? I got all these family ties to Michigan, and you go after that dude who I think I'm as good as. By the time you realize you aren't getting Jeremy Fears and he's going to Michigan State, you try to come back around on Aiden Holloway. And well, guess what? Now it's like, well, hey, you remember where you had me second fiddle before? Well, you're second fiddle now. I'm not saying that's the story in its totality, but it I think accurately depicts where that past staff was with Aiden Holloway. Like, for instance, I think if the past staff was here, I don't think they have any shot at Aiden Holloway. I think it's just about circumstances right now. I mean, you're recruiting a lot of guys at that position, and some guys they were further down. They got on sooner than Aiden. So I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm just saying it's got a lot of. They got to get 8 dudes, man. They got to get 8. You got to get 8 dudes. And Trey Donaldson coming on the visit.
Back to his original recruitment, though, like if he's like, that's the one thing hopefully Dusty and his staff do going forward. They able to identify kids like that have ties to the university and prioritize them. If you, like you said, between like Jeremy Fears went to our arch rival. Like you couldn't, how don't you see that? Like normally in these recruitments when it's Michigan versus Michigan State or Ohio State versus Michigan in football, isn't the line normally declared pretty early in these recruitments? So how don't you see that coming? You have one kid who's clearly on one side of the line, just naturally from family ties and bloodline. So,
well, you'd have to talk to the staff about that, bro. I mean, but you're asking the question that they were asking.
Yeah,
so
that's wild.
Kind of a miscalculation in the grand scheme of things because you wind up not getting either one of them. So tough pill, but Dusty is swinging for the fences. As far as these portal pursuits are concerned, don't know if it'll wind up with Johnell Davis again. There were some reports that said that he was on his way this weekend. I'm getting from high authorities that's not in the cards. At least as of what time did this text just get sent to me? This text was 6:19. No, 6:01.
Yeah.
Is this legit? Is this guy? No. So, boom.
Well, gotta play the game.
Unless something happens moving forward, I'm not expecting to see him, see Johnell Davis in Ann Arbor this weekend. But I think he's gonna get his 7-8 guys. Tarris Reed won't be one. He's on his way to Uconn. I wonder what you think of that move, Daniel.
That's a good move for him. If he wasn't going to stay in Michigan and give the new staff a chance to continue his development and give him a chance to reach or, get to where he wants to get to as far as basketball goes. I mean, you can't really pick a better program than UConn right now. Mm-hmm. Two-time defending national champion. They use their big men contribute to, their winning. And, you watch Clinton this year, as a big man in the portal, I want to try to follow, what he's done at UConn as well. So,
yeah, I noticed. Yeah, one of the things, that was the one of all the guys that on last year's roster that you were looking to, are they going to go, or are they going to stay? That was the one where I thought was the most important, but also was going to be the toughest to keep. because he obviously had suitors. I mean, if you
Yes.
got national champ is coming at you, that ought to tell you right there that dude had a lot of teams chasing after him. So
That's
tough.
basketball, though, Sam.
Yeah.
The 6'10", 7-footer's always been more valuable than the 6'3" guy. That's just how it goes.
Really?
Yeah. You ever heard Shaq give that theory, or the NBA GMs talk about never trading a franchise level big for a guard? Have you ever seen that happen before?
No, but what's more valuable, hey man, in today's college basketball? If I have to allocate my budget, I'm getting me some backcourt guys first before I
Hey,
go after
those
the big.
6'3", 6'3", 6'4" guards are a dime a dozen. Trust me, I can tell you from experience.
All right, man. Well, we'll see how it go. What I can tell you folks is this. Keep it locked over on the MichiganInsider.com. There are a lot of names, and I had Davis Mosley, our young whippersnapper, who's doing a great job keeping up with all these portal guys. But not every move that Dusty is making is public, right? There are some. I know there's at least one name that he's on that's not on that list, right? And so we are keeping tabs and keeping track to kind of see how things are going to play out. And then if and when something develops, we will certainly let you know. But it is very clear. I mean, my man is working.
Yeah.
If it's not with the donors, if it's not getting with them, it's getting with these portal dudes and trying to get it done. As you see Vlad Golden there, and that we were hearing like even before it was clear that Dusty was going to be the guy. The talk was if Dusty winds up being the guy. We were hearing this from Michigan people that are close to that program. They're like, hey, be on the lookout for him to likely join Dusty in Ann Arbor. Not so much. It wasn't as clear with John L. Davidson. It still isn't. You got to wonder now if they will get a visit. If that report was premature. Now I don't know if it was totally off base though, and that maybe he's going to be coming at a later time. I haven't asked that question yet, but I will.
Maybe someone met his asking price. You never know.
Yeah. So we'll dig into it for sure. But the guys that we can say for sure, Roddy Gale, he's going to be on campus this weekend, or slated to be. You're going to have Trey Donaldson going to be on campus this weekend, or slated to be. I always say slated to be because these dudes can change their plans. And then a guy I was wondering if it was going to get finalized. Davis was able to chase it down, and going to see another visitor likely to make his way to campus this weekend, and we're putting it on the hot board. I don't want to drop it ahead of Davis's report, so just be on the lookout for that over on the MichiganInsider.com as we bring you up to speed on another that will likely be in this weekend. Justin Absent, he did mention it. So Justin Absent, App State forward, likely to be in this weekend as well. Big time shot blocker, expected for him to be on campus this weekend. That has been out there on social media, and certainly Davis also reported it as well. I just didn't want to jump him ahead of time. But there is another one out there that hasn't been mentioned that we will keep you up to speed on if something comes to fruition. So, fellas, that'll do it for the college side of things. The NBA playoffs are upon us. Is it just as simple as saying we are on a Boston-Denver collision course? Seems that way to me, fellas. I don't know who you have in these playoffs, but those two squads are clearly the best teams to me on either side of the ledger. I know that OKC got the 1 seed, but the experience factor skews me in favor of the Nuggets, fellas, and I think that's what we're going to see in the NBA Finals.
I don't think Denver gets out the first round.
What?
Oh,
let me explain.
Please do.
Let me explain. Can I explain? My goodness,
yes.
Just attacking me. So, first of all, Lakers really good team. They're uniquely built that they are the one team that can give Denver trouble, right, with their athletic big and all those different things, right? Now, let's go away from the X's and O's and let's just talk about pride and one of the best players of the entire generation. A year ago, this coach who just broke through one time, so we can't say that they've only done it once, which is they've done it, but they've only done it once. He said that he is LeBron James's daddy. He has to beat the Nuggets. There's no way, right? This is almost like J. Cole. If he can't beat the Nuggets right now or take it to 7, I don't know. This is equivalent to J. Cole apologizing. And big LeBron guy, I'm gonna have to be done with him because you can't let this man talk crazy like this. LeBron is healthy. AD is as healthy as he can possibly be. Their role players are playing well. D-Lo is getting down because think about this. In that sweep, if D-Lo gives half of what he's giving right now, they beat the Nuggets and sweep them. Remember, every single game was within a possession. Every single game. If D-Lo averaged 6 points, Samuel, 6. If he gives half of what he's giving right now, they are not getting swept, and maybe they don't win, but it's going to be a much tougher task for them.
They'll win the game.
You can't convince me that a team can go from getting swept to sweeping on one. Come on, DG.
Was
every game not down to the last possessions? Were they not?
I mean, I don't have the scores in front of me, but I remember. I remember there being one.
You, Sam.
There was one game I remember vividly that was it was a 2-point game. It was a 2-point game, but I can't say that I sit here and remember that every game was a 2 or 3 point game. But it didn't. I just put it this way: I didn't come out of that series thinking, "Oh man, the Lakers should have had this."
I give the Lakers a game.
This in a couple weeks.
Hey man, because it wasn't just Jokic. What I remember is it wasn't just Jokic, and that Jamal Murray was giving them.
Jamal Murray not going to be what he was. I guarantee that.
Okay, DG.
Who's going to guard him?
We'll revisit this in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we need to.
Who's going to guard him?
I can't wait to revisit it because y'all know how I take my victory lap.
See, here the Lakers. So here's what I'll say. If there are teams that push the Nuggets this year, I think it'll be the young upstarts. Yeah, I think it'll either be the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are you look at the way that team has come together. Man, Chet has really become what everyone thought he was going to be. And you see how rounded that is. And Shai is a bona fide. You agree, Daniel, he bona fide superstar?
Yes, sir.
Bona fide superstar. Chet shows you he can go get you buckets. Jalen Williams has emerged as a great Robin. That is a rounded squad. You got the Minnesota
for MVP.
Right. And then you got what will the Timberwolves be with Karl Anthony Towns come back? Can he round into enough form to make them be a formidable force? He has to be for them to really contend. Those are the X factors to me. It's not the Lakers. It's not the Suns who look like they were woefully overrated and poorly constructed. It's not the Mavs who they're going to give you some fireworks in a couple games. Luka is going to be Luka. He's going to get some buckets, and Kyrie might give you a flash in a pan or two. But neither of those teams are going to defend you well enough. None of those teams are going to defend you well enough to slow down the Nuggets. To me, the young teams can push them. The only team that I think is likely that has a good chance, the team that I think has the best chance to beat them, though, the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, if they can put it all together, if you look at a squad where Jason Tatum doesn't have to be like, you don't have to have the alpha mentality on this team anymore. Just give me some alpha play every now and then. You got a pit bull in the backcourt now. I think that you have a situation now where Jason is not the team leader. You agree with me with me on that, Daniel? Because I think they were originally looking for him to be the leader of that team. And as you got deeper into it, and you sort of realize, well, who is the alpha on that squad? Man, it ain't, or it's not, excuse me, Jason Tatum. It's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is the alpha on that team. I mean, he doesn't lead them in scoring, but he lead them in go get it and attitude and defense. And who do you want with the ball in his hands? Of course, I want it in Jason in Jaylen Brown's hands personally.
As long as he don't have to go left, I like that. Like him to have it too. Like if he's worked on his game to where last time we saw Jaylen Brown in the playoffs, he struggled with his left hand, and there people forced him left, and he was kicking the ball all over the gym. So if he's improved his game in playoff atmosphere, we've seen him dominate the regular season for 2-3 years now. So if his left hand works, he'll be okay.
Man, they got they just got to be able to put together. The issue for them is last year they had a new coach. If they have Ime Udoka last year, I think it's a different proposition. Now, now you're in a situation where you're 2 years in. You're 2 years into a circumstance that wasn't of your making. Joe Mazzulla was inexperienced. Was thrust into the mix, and I really don't think he was in a situation to really command in-game crunch time respect from those guys. I think he's probably earned that now, and you just got so many weapons. I mean, now Porzingis has been with him for a while. I think Drew Holiday, I got to sit up here and take it on the chin, because when the Bucks got Damian Lillard, I was like, oh, this is it. I mean, they changed the game. You get one of the best offensive guards in the game, Daniel, but what did you trade? What did you give up? You gave up the best defensive guard in the game, and they have never recovered from that.
Nope, and they're probably going to lose the first round of the playoffs. But it's one of those things where
the Nuggets probably is going to lose the first round.
And I know you like the Celtics, but if Embiid is healthy, they're going to be in a dogfight if they play the Sixers. So
yeah, I think it'll be a cakewalk. I don't think it'll be a cakewalk, but I just think they have too much. I think they have too much for the Sixers.
If Embiid is healthy, if they play like they played before he got hurt, when they were the number 1 or 2 seed, it's gonna be tough. So it's gonna be. I like these matchups the first round, especially with the Lakers being at 7. Might have the
Lakers in 5. You said?
No, I said the Lakers are going home in 5, and I'm a Laker fan, but
Lakers in 5.
Yeah. I know you got to bounce. I know you got to bounce here. I will say this for you though, Daniel. The irony of them being without the beard, I think it's revealed that, man, you just need the ball in Tyrese Maxey's hands more.
Yes,
and they would have been better off if you just make him a off the ball spot up shooter. Anyway, we gonna run our off. We gonna let Tyrese Maxey run everything. He has become the guy in the backcourt for that team, and made him better as a result. So I know you got to get out there.
Hey, guess where Tyrese Maxey from?
Where he from? Daniel, where he from?
Dallas, Texas, baby. DFW.
He from Lakers in 5.
Yeah. Okay. I give you props.
I'll be watching on the way to practice. Don't let DG talk crazy about my man Orgy, another DFW Metroplex kid.
I can't wait for you to get off so you can't defend yourself. I'm talking crazy about you.
We will talk some spring ball coming up, spring ball preview. But first things first, as we sign off to Daniel, as he has to get his coaching hat on and go over and help mold some basketball players up tomorrow, we're going to turn our attention to the happenings, to the events, to the goings on here in Washtenaw County. It's a segment called I Love Ann Arbor. Ben, would you please drop that track? And so with the weather turning, golf is in the air.
Barely. It was raining like a mug today.
I know it was right, but hey, man,
I don't go outside and nothing like that, but I was looking out my window and I'm like, man, it's a lot of rain.
Yeah, the Masters were just last week, so anyone who's a golf fan has the fever, and so there was a course that we highlighted back in the winter. And we said we'll bring it back around when the springtime comes around because it's a hidden gem here in Ann Arbor. And we're going to bring it back up right now talking about Eagle Crest. The Eagle Crest Resort, Eagle Crest Golf Course, Eagle Crest Marriott. It is a great resort in Washtenaw County, in Ypsi. And it's a scene that you would not expect. When you step out there, you step out on the course, you look over the picturesque scene and the water and the perfectly manicured course. It is a beautiful course right here in Southeast Michigan.
And let me remind the people, you don't have to be able to golf to appreciate it because Sam is garbage. He got shoes and everything, and he thinks it's amazing. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be a good golfer to appreciate it.
Hey, man. Hey, my game is garbage, but my gear is not.
Hey,
game is garbage.
You do
gear is not. I got the Peter Millar. I got the.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fancy.
Oh, come on, DG. You were just up there. We were up at Grand Traverse Resort. You ain't get you in the Peter Millar. Come on, man.
I don't know.
I get down in the golf gear. You know, you got the Nike golf pants. I got the Jordan golf cleats. Hey, man, I look like I could play. I look like I could play. So I just gotta keep the clubs away, and I can fake it. Right,
yeah.
Ride around in the cart, right? But
hey, Sam, can you swing for my shoulder?
Best golf shot I ever hit. I will say this: best golf shot I ever hit was at Eagle Crest Golf Course. It was I hit it off the tee. Straight down. Oh, man, it was unbelievable.
Oh, you hit it straight.
I hit it straight. It was unbelievable, right? And so highlight this golf course is one that if you visit Washtenaw County or you live in Washtenaw County, you absolutely have to get out to see. The resort is outstanding. The restaurant right there on site is outstanding as well. But I also want to take the opportunity to highlight some other things that are going on Ford Lake. And so one of the announcements that came out recently is that EMU, Destination Ann Arbor, the Ann Arbor Sports Commission, the Ann Arbor Marriott at Ypsilanti at Eagle Crest, they had all come together to unveil a championship level rowing course at Ford Lake. So it represents a landmark effort to establish Michigan's largest rowing course and one of only 16 venues in the United States with capacity for 8-lane racing. So just another great event that's going to come to a hidden gem in this community.
I ain't going to lie to you,
Ford Lake.
I ain't going to be there.
Well,
that's
you know what you
might
be? Yeah. You might not, but you know what else is going to be at Ford Lake? See, they have a jazz fest.
I'll be there.
Yeah, they have a jazz fest that comes every single year. The John E. Lawrence Summer Jazz Series. It goes July 5th through August 23rd, and it takes place. You got you got a different sort of jazz set every Friday, and it's free. So again, when we say exciting things in Washtenaw County, and exciting things in particular over at Ford Lake, we're not exaggerating. You can get details.
Free as me, baby.
You can get details on all of these events, not just at Ford Lake and Eagle Crest, but throughout Washtenaw County.
What about that trail you pretend to ride?
I don't pretend. See, as we are talking about Ford Lake, we're talking about Eagle Crest, the resort. You see how picturesque that scene is over the Eagle Crest Marriott. It is a beautiful golf course, beautiful setting. You feel like you're someplace else, only because Michigan is beautiful. But, golf course right on the water, it's unbelievable. And then, of course, like I said, the championship rowing course that's coming to Ford Lake as well. And then, let me repeat, DG said, I'm not rowing, probably not golfing either. But the Summer Jazz Series, July 5th through August 23rd, free concert every Friday night, 7 until 9 p.m. This is what we're talking about when we say there are always great events going on in Washtenaw County. Just check out annarbor.org or this QR code that we're about to put up for you to scan, so you can stay up to date and up to speed on all the things that are coming to Washtenaw County, courtesy of our friends at Destination Ann Arbor. You can keep tabs just by going to annarbor.org or, of course, scanning the QR code that will be on your screen here shortly and take part. Hey, DG, it doesn't get better than free.
Free as me.
free. And you know the ladies, because you know the ladies are interested.
Here we go.
I'm not even making it up. I'm not even exaggerating. I got contacted out of the blue, and it was a woman who said, "I want to meet Devin Gardner. Can you hook me up?" Well, you gotta like what Devin likes. You know, maybe if you show up at the Jazz Fest, you might see ODG. A
Nice
time or two, right?
It's free, so you might see me. I'm just telling you.
So again, folks, for all things Washington County, places to stay, places to eat, places to go, events coming to town, check out Destination Ann Arbor at annarbor.org or scan the QR code on your screen right now, and be sure to get on out and enjoy Washington County. With that, Ben, drop that track. DG, so spring game is upon us, man. Take us back to your day. Take us back to your days as a player, getting ready for spring ball and the spring game. I mean, did you go hard in spring ball and take it easy in spring game, or how did you approach? What was your approach?
So for me, I'll just go year by year. My freshman year, as you remember, I was the new hotness, right? So I came in, I was here to compete with the potential to play. Had a great spring. And that is the year that I learned that there is a difference between Main Street and State Street. Completely different, not even close, right? So, I mean, I wish you could have been there, Sam, how I was getting down on these guys in practice. Like, I wish you could have been there. I went as far as to tell people that had been in the program for 3 years, you will never tackle me, because we were live, right? Me and Denard were live, and Tate as well, because we were competing to play, you know? And I went as far as to telling defender, you will never tackle me while you're at this university. It won't happen. And I was wheeling and dealing. I was doing my thing. And we got in the stadium, and it felt like my legs didn't work. You didn't see me since I was, 15, 14, whatever?
Yeah.
Right? I've never been the not mobile, nimble guy to do things special things with the ball, and I'm just like, why aren't my legs working? Like, it felt like I was almost in a way paralyzed, and it's a difference, man. And it wasn't like it was a lot of people there, but not that many people, right? Nothing compared to an actual game day. And I remember just running and feeling like Bambi. I said, why do I feel like a baby deer? And it's so funny, because I try to explain that to young guys as they come in the following years of like, hey, man, I know you're doing well, you know, it's different. It's different, man. It's not the same. And then when you go to game day, like the real game day, it's even a whole nother level, you know? So I just kind of vividly remember that, because, as you know, most confident guy in the world, like I said, telling guys, you won't tackle me in your career here, let alone in this spring while I'm trying to win this job.
You sound like somebody named Semaj Morgan right now. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
I told you. But guess what? You never knew about that. That's what I'm saying. Semaj, oh my goodness, he did an interview the other day, and they said, what is going to be this? It was something crazy, and I can't even remember. I got to look it up on Twitter, but it was hilarious. I said, this boy Semaj crazy. He don't have no chill. It's something wrong with him. But the thing is, you got to have that chip. You got to have that confidence. And Semaj, the cool thing for him is he got humbled at a point last year, but they won a national championship, and he's a big part of their success throughout the season, right? So to be able to still have the success and have be humbled is kind of a special thing, right? Because usually you get humbled and there's not a bunch of success that follows the humbling. You know what I mean? So I think he's gonna be insufferable. I'm just telling you, he's gonna be insufferable. Yeah. He is me, and he's me without a filter and without like any discretion. So he's gonna be insufferable. Sam, you know how I am when I win, and when you know what I mean? He's gonna be insufferable, but it's gonna be good for us, because if he's insufferable, that means he's dominating on the field.
Yeah, and well, he certainly is gonna have to have. Look at that. He went and found.
So no, I wasn't Bambi in that one. You see me, I was getting down in that one. I've been in the weight room. I got my muscles and stuff. You know, by that time I was already getting down. That wasn't Bambi, Devin. That was, I'm here. I've arrived. I probably won't play because Denard's still.
Hey, is that Ricky Barnum in center? Was that Ricky Barnum in center right there? Back it up. Back up to
No.
that other picture. I
Ben,
just
don't
want.
do it. Ben, don't do it. Ben.
All right.
Ben, whose side are you on, Ben? What are we doing? But these ones that you're seeing right now, I would. And then this final year, I shouldn't have played in the spring game with the orange 98 on. That was the year after I broke my foot, right? And so I had these big lineman cleats on. I couldn't really move and do stuff. But I'm the guy that's like, I don't want people to see anybody else play like that. I don't like that, right? We about to be on the stage. I got to play. You know what I mean? So I was a little hampered, but I did all right with the old Nussmeier's offense.
Yeah, so here's the thing as we head into this spring game, because you got a chance, you went to a
We
practice.
done, by the way.
You know you had people panicking after you went to practice. You was like, oh man, the quarterback's I was like, first of all, he said he qualified his commentary by saying, I went to a practice and they're playing the best defense in the country.
Yeah, it's not even close.
these are two factors that have to be taken into the equation. So I did some asking around, and then I had old gorgeous Borges go to practice. So I'm gonna be bringing a report to the people, to get more perspective on the quarterback play. He said something interesting. He said, you got different quarterbacks that would fit better depending on the scenario, and the scenario for this team might be most conducive to Alex Orji being the best, because he said, listen, I think of the guys I saw, he said point blank, guys I saw, the best just guy throwing the football was my man Davis Warren. Yeah, see, I didn't even have to say it. You're right there with it.
I mean, he just does it. He does it right. The one thing I don't like is he got a kind of a long delivery, but other than that, I mean, it's good to go.
Yeah, his arm.
Hold on, Sam, my food here.
Yeah, his arm talent is pro. I mean, he can make every throw. Davis Warren can make every throw. Now, Alex Orji can make every throw too, but his, the consistency of his mechanics, which Devin has been talking about, consistency of his mechanics are better, but still a work in progress. But for this team that is going to have basically a new offensive line, you got guys who have experience. Miles Hinton has started a lot of games and started some games at Michigan. Josh Preeb has started a lot of games, but he's a transfer in. Greg Crippen would have started on most other teams in the Big Ten, but he happened to be behind Olu Atimi and Drake Nugent. Gio started some games as injury relief. He would have been starting on a lot of other teams. So you got guys who have played, but haven't started a lot of games necessarily at Michigan. And then you got another tackle spot where right now, if they don't get another guy in the portal, it's like complete green. Like they haven't played a lot, whether it's Alex Gentry or Jeff Percy. And so do you need in a scenario like that? Is it best to have the best pocket passer? Or is it best to have the guy who is the best playmaker, the guy who can make more plays on the move? Because one of the things I was talking to people about the practice you were at, Devin, it's like, we were practicing, we were working on some drop back stuff. We are going to be in games, like if it's Alex Orji, there'll be a lot more pocket movement stuff, right? A lot more getting him on the perimeter to make plays, to use his athleticism, things that he should be good at in theory, and probably would mask some of the possible deficiencies for this team,
of course,
come the fall. So that I thought that was interesting to hear Boyd just kind of make that point. He said, it depends on what they are as an offensive line. That will affect in part my perception of what the best route to go in is as far as the quarterback is concerned.
Yeah, and I think the wild card is Tuttle. Right. Yeah. Obviously, he's not participating in spring right now, but this is a guy that has seen a lot of football. Right. He's been around for it. Seems like he might have been a freshman when I was playing at this point. Right. So this is a guy who can move. I remember going to a practice it wasn't a football practice. It was just weightlifting, workout, and running and speed. And I remember watching him neck and neck and really exploding with the GPS and the sprints and the acceleration and different things like that. So is he the bridge of like, hey, not going to be as dynamic as JJ, obviously, but if an offensive line is not quite where we want to be early, can he help out in some of those scenarios with his moving ability? And then as a passer, is he the perfect pocket passer? Maybe not, but is he a serviceable passer for getting it to the weapons that you need to get it to? So kind of like that mix of a guy that can move a little bit and help himself out, but also a guy that can pass the ball in the drop back pass game. I don't know right now, just because he hasn't performed, he hasn't played right now. But maybe he's the I think he's kind of the wild card of like, all right, you kind of know what you're gonna get from Orgy, you know what you're gonna get from Davis Warren, but total, you just don't know just yet how healthy will he be in all those different things.
Yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't been healthy a single year in his gonna be his 7th year in college.
That's almost a decade in
right.
college.
And so, but it hasn't been, and that's the thing that is scary. If he can stay healthy, it's like, man, yeah, he brings you some starting experience, he brings you some mobility, nice arm talent, brings you some leadership.
Yeah.
But just you're scared as a coach because there's just nothing to suggest that he is gonna last 12, 13, 14 games.
He got hurt. He's injured now, but he didn't play last year. It's crazy.
But he in relief, that's where he got injured.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You didn't play much. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's terrifying, right? But you never know, man. Once you get in that 7th year, I guess. I mean, I don't know how it is. I've never been in my 7th year, but maybe he's just seen enough and done enough that he can stay healthy. But I think he's somebody that you can't forget about in that battle.
Yeah, someone.
And I like Denigal. Yeah, everybody don't love Denigal. I like Denigal. I thought that Denigal was pretty consistent. Not as consistent as you want him to be, but none of them are going to be. But just because they haven't had the reps, they're still very young players. But he has some consistency to his release and not a big time mover, but can move a little bit similar to a Toto without the experience, in my opinion. So I think maybe Denigal could make a push in fall camp.
Yeah, what I had heard, you saw him at a point where he had started to get consistent, but he didn't have a great start to the spring.
Of course.
As I heard, like, the other guys had a stronger first 3 or 4 practices, and then he sort of came on and kind of raised the bar to their level. And that's why this battle won't be won in spring ball.
And I think this spring game is very important because I'm just telling you, man, State Street and Main Street. And even though it's just a spring game, I hope the format is one that allows for them to really compete on that stage, because playing in that indoor and that controlled environment, even though they had, a couple high schools have come to practice and me and other people, that's nothing compared to being in the stadium with the pressure of earning a job, right? The pressure of earning a job can be too much, right? And you can get in there and see, okay, maybe we won't see everything, but we'll see something. And what can these young guys who haven't really contributed as much as they would have wanted to this point in their careers, what can they really do on a much grander stage?
Yeah, and so I want to correct some misconceptions about Alex Orji here real quick, because shout out to Antoine Johnson saying RPO and simple reads for Orji. If it's not there, take off. I think that Antoine is on it, but people need to interpret that the right way. He's one of the smartest dudes on the team, Devin. Like, smart for real, like, and knows ball. And so when it comes to digesting and internalizing the offense and the concepts, like, that's not an issue at all. Where he's really had to come along, and you kind of touched on this,
consistency and footwork.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Mechanic. It's not knowing the scheme and knowing all the route kinds of all that. He has all that. It's getting consistent.
And people need to realize, if you watch, a lot of people that watch Droppin Dimes, they watch Monday Morning Quarterback. The one thing we pointed to was JJ, that if he fixed, we thought he could be a world beater. You know what I mean? In his sophomore season, it was okay. His footwork is taking him away from or putting him in trouble or different things like that, and not allowing him to make some of the throws. And then he fixed a lot of that going into his junior year, and he still can continue to get better, in my opinion. And now he's a first-round pick, right? So a guy that's a first-round pick 1 year from when we thought that his footwork wasn't what it needs to be. What about this guy who hasn't played yet, right? Give him a chance to work on that and kind of improve on that. I think the sky's the limit for Alex Orji, man. I think it's all in his hands, right? Yeah. He has to seek and do the things he needs to do to get all that together, because as far as physical gifts, I've said it already. Physical gifts, talent. You just talked about how smart he is. He has everything you want in a starting quarterback that we won't even get a chance to see a bunch just because he should be gone off to the NFL.
Yeah, man. So wanted to make it clear to people it's not an IQ thing. It's a repetition, and the
comfortability is very important. Remember, I told you about Bambi Gardner. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, the fundamentals and techniques of being a quarterback, which you know so well, DG. Yeah. The other piece is, what do you want to emphasize? I mean, a dude who is that physically gifted as a runner, do you want to spend so much time working on a progression reading into your third and fourth progress? It's like, man, when you can run like that, I mean, maybe you extend a play or two, but man, I want you using your God-given physical talent as well. And so it's a balancing act between, yeah, you want him to be able to do whole field reads and that kind of thing, and yeah, you're working on his footwork, but you don't want to dull his tool. And because he right now, you know, he can run that rock, and he can run it really, really well.
And one thing that, like you said, it's kind of a misconception. When you get into pure progression, let's be clear. It's simple for everybody. And that's a full field read. Now, it gets more complicated when you go zone concept, man concept, right? Or this zone versus a different kind of zone on the other side. That's when the full field is like, okay, now we got issues, right? You got to get.
You remember Bowling Green game? You put that on JJ?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when it gets confusing. But if you got pure progression where we're going to start to the right and we're going to work our way across the board, that's not something he's incapable of doing. Now, feet and eyes working together while you're doing that is something that he can work on and whatever. But I saw in practice when I was there that he had gotten through progression well, even gotten to the check down a few times. So that's not something that is going to keep him from being successful. It's just some of the mechanical things. And like you said, it comes with reps, man. You have to work on this stuff for so long and so many times. And I think about it as the 1,000-hour rule. And a lot of us read the Malcolm Gladwell book. You need 1,000 hours of these reps of doing it to make sure that it becomes second nature and you're not thinking. And I think Harbaugh nailed it when he said he's Jalen Milroe. Because if we can get Jalen Milroe, if Orgy can be Jalen Milroe this year, I will take that 10 times over.
100%.
10 times over. And for me, Jalen Milroe is going to be even better this coming year. Right now, obviously, new system, different things like that. But I think the board does a really good job of helping quarterbacks. So he's going to be even better. If we can get what Jalen Milroe was last year, I think we got ourselves a really good quarterback and a really good team.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. And I think the knock that was on Jalen Milroe was that he held the ball too long at times. Right?
Because he's getting through his reads. And it's like, no, dog, use your skills. Get out here. Go.
Right. That's the balancing act that they're going on right now. Like, hey, man, look, you want to get the ball down the field, or you want to get a play. You want to give some more guys some chance to get up, but you can run that rock.
However,
man.
You have skills that others don't. This was built for Davis Warren to stay and get through the reads. You can take off a smidge. I'll give you a funny story. I remember and I was a pretty good athlete, I think. And every time I tell the story, I get humbled every single time. And I was humbled in the meeting when it happened. I remember we were in meetings and Coach Rod was talking about the reads, and you've heard this story, the reads of like reading the defensive end and whatever. And he's like, hey, he turns his shoulders, all those different details and whatever. And then he's like, hey, if he turns his shoulders, he's square down line of scrimmage. That's when you can pull it, Devin, Tate, you do that and whatever. If he's running, Denard, whatever you think works. If you think you can beat him, go. If you think you can beat him, go. You know what I mean? It's just everybody is different. And he was obviously right with that. And even though, I pulled that thing a couple times, try to, no, that didn't work. But, that's kind of how you go at it. It's like, hey, yeah, we got this full field read. Yeah, we have all this stuff. But if it's 4 reads, Jalen, you might get to 2 and then you see a lane and you can go.
Yeah,
Not Jalen, I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah, you made a brilliant. I got to give you credit, brother. You just made a brilliant point, because when you got a dude who has a special talent, you got to have special rules.
Yes, of course.
And so I remember Borges was getting mad because he was listening to commentary. He was listening to some commentary talking about the quarterback over and over, week after week. He should pull it on a split zone. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. Except I did let Denard do it.
Yeah.
I did let Denard do it, right?
Yeah.
So special rules for special players. And in the case of Alex Orji, he has a special talent as a runner, and that's why I think they aren't going to be as married to, 1, 2, 3. Check down. It's like, hey, 1, 2, okay, run.
Sometimes the check down, you're better than the check down.
Right.
That's honestly how I a lot of times thought about it. I had to get out of it some when I got injured a little bit, knee, foot, all that. But when I was young and rolling, why would I throw the ball to the running back? I am the check down. What are we doing? and coaches were fine with that just because I was dynamic as a runner. And obviously for Denard, he's definitely the check down. Why are we throwing to running backs when we're the best runner, And that's the thing, man. Everybody's not going to be coached the exact same, and they shouldn't be. And the one thing that for Orji that I really want him to figure out sooner rather than later, and not saying it's a problem right now, but the some of the reps he's gotten, and I understand where he's coming from. When I used to go in, I used to try to punish folks, right? I haven't played this game all game. I need to make this defense feel me. I want to run somebody over and all those different things. When to get out of bounds, when to get down. Because as physically strong and powerful and all those different things as you are, those guys on defense are a lot more physically strong and all those different things. And it may be some guys you can run over and you'll be able to pick those spots. But I just want them to figure out sooner rather than later, when are the times where I am a physical specimen and I punish people, and when are the times where I need to get down to preserve myself for the entire season because the team needs me.
Yeah, and so another question came in from Blow Me Up today. He said, if it's Orji, are we really needing wide receivers from the portal?
Why are we saying
why
that?
Would, why wouldn't
you don't want your quarterback to have receivers? What are you saying? What is that? What blow me up today? What are we talking about? We don't want receivers because our quarterback can run. How about our quarterback can create, right? And all these downfield plays that can be absorbed just because our quarterback has the ability to save himself from danger. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you not want receivers? Goodbye.
Yeah, I see Michigan getting at least attempting to get at least 2 receivers out of the portal. And it's important for me to explain that too, because people say, "Oh, are our receivers doing poor in practice?" I mean, did we not have it's a profile that they're looking for in the portal. They need depth, but what they don't have in that room right now is size.
They don't got no big guys. Like even the kid that I like a lot that I won't remember his name until he do his thing. And I genuinely cannot remember his name. And I know you probably gonna say it. Freddie Moore.
Yeah.
He plays a little bigger than he actually is, but for him physically, he doesn't have a whole bunch of size, right? And as much as he's Jerry Jeudy, he can make these plays. I'm sure he can make comeback catches and all those different things, right? You do want a guy that you can lean on in spots and say, he's bigger and he's better. Maybe the read doesn't take me there. Throw it to him, right? Throw it to him anyway, right? And allow him to make a play. And that's something that Michigan hasn't had in a very long time since, I would say, Nico Collins. And even with Nico Collins, we didn't use that ability, right? We didn't use that ability on the 3-yard line, 5-yard line, first down. Hey, throw it up to Nico and see what he does, And that's something I think that Sharon Moore might be able to lean into if you can get that kind of physical presence.
The
portal.
You want a big catch radius guy.
Easier.
That doesn't mean you're smaller. Yeah, that doesn't mean that your smaller guys don't have. You would say all the time, Jeremy Gallon had a big catch radius.
But the reason Jeremy Gallon was so dang good because he could get that thing from up with the big guys. He can go down low. His catch radius was huge, even though he was a small human. And I think that's a lot of the same for Semaj Morgan.
Yeah.
Even though he's small, big catch radius. And for Morris, even though he's small, big catch radius. But I'm telling you, as a quarterback, when you look out there and it's a bigger body, it's a lot easier to throw it to him. I'm telling you. Imagine this. You're standing on a boat and you're trying to throw a ball into a lake, right? You think you're going to miss? No, you have no chance of missing because it's so much water all over. Now, put a small swimming pool in that lake. You clinch up just a little bit more, right? Just a smaller target, and that's for anybody. And it's just a lot more comfortable, and especially with young quarterbacks who are trying to come into their own, you want to have easy, nice, big targets if you can. And I think they could do that.
Yeah, man. You think about they recruited it a couple years ago, but every guy they recruited that fits that mold is gone. Amarion Walker left to go to Ole Miss, right?
Is he
And
gonna
that
come
was
back or what?
that was
Get your
after.
butt back here. Get back in the portal and get on back, man. What's he
Hey,
doing?
I would if I was him.
Quit being weird. Like, what are you doing? Get your butt back in where you supposed to be, man.
Yeah, Andrew Anthony, who ironically
Ah,
left in part because of Amarion was coming up and coming on, and obviously
that's why I
had
don't
a
like this portal stuff, man. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it, man, because you just gotta like think about this. The portal wasn't big when Nico Collins was there. And I remember going to games and say, who is this big dude? Who is this dude? Who's for? Who's the one that spat it all the time? And they said, yeah, man, he's a problem, but he's having some injury stuff and whatever. Imagine if he just looked to see the writing on the wall. Oh, Donovan Peoples playing well, all this, and says, all right, I'm going to transfer portal. Right? His life could be totally different, man. I just wish, just stick it out just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, please.
Yeah, and then of course Darius Clemens just transferred after the national championship.
And I
Got to
saw
Oregon State.
I used to, and you don't know this, but every time I see him, I would call him, what's the receiver for the Bengals, the really good one? Jamar Chase. I'd be like, man, you Jamar Chase. You just got to be healthy, man. I think he has that type of potential to make big play. And it's just like, oh my God, he's gone too. Like,
Right.
And it's like, don't pop when you leave. Please don't pop when you leave.
Oh,
My
hey,
goodness.
listen. I think though that 6'2", 6'3" plus profile, I think that's what Michigan is seeking in the portal, and that's not pushing down or pushing out guys that they don't have that guy on the roster right now.
Yeah,
is the thing. So that's why it's such a priority in the portal. You want some guys that are big targets.
Yeah.
That are bigger targets.
And I've explained to you why. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it almost feels like Monday morning quarterback. I nailed it. Like, would you rather throw it from a boat into a lake, or would you rather throw it from a boat into a small kiddie pool that's in that lake? I'm throwing in that lake, man. Can't miss it. Can't miss
it. And listen, those guys are, you can play a lot of receivers. The ones that will probably gripe more is, offensive linemen. But see, I think Michigan has established, listen, fellas, this is a championship program. We are going to prioritize competition. That doesn't guarantee that the guy that comes in the portal is going to start, but we aren't going to shy away from that out of fear that it might ruffle some feathers. Because I'm going to promise you, as a guy who's here, you're going to keep having an opportunity to beat that guy.
You're in control of that. You're completely in control of that. Right. And if you want to put it in other people's hands, don't do what you're supposed to do. Don't improve, have missed assignments, miss class, right? Miss work. All those different things are in your control, right? So if you're in good graces and you continue to do what you're doing and making plays, then you'll be just fine. But it's the guys that, take the blinders off and see, who we getting? We getting them? Oh, they coming to replace me? A guy like Semaj ain't thinking like that because he's me. I don't care who you bringing in here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you
if anything, he's gonna open it up more for me.
You can use last year as an example on the offensive line. Ladarius Henderson didn't start right away.
No, he didn't.
Now Miles Hinton did, but then Miles Hinton and Drake Nugent did, and Drake Nugent held his spot, but Miles Hinton got hurt and didn't get his spot back.
Right.
So just as you come in as a transfer doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be the guy. And I think that's what they have to stress to all these guys, but certainly because I think Michigan will be searching for or is searching for a tackle to enhance that competition at that spot. And maybe Alex Gentry or Jeff Percy winds up being better than anyone that they can get. But you want to leave as little to chance. You want to have as many options as possible when you're a championship caliber team.
You know what I think? I think Chris Bryant should gain that weight back because he got hurt so much that he got some years I think he can still play. He should gain that weight back and try and give it another go. Somebody tell Chris Bryant to get his butt out there.
Nick said, any leads on receivers in the portal? Well, one.
Sam, no. This man, everything. My goodness, Sam.
One that's in the portal. Yes, Keandre Lambert-Smith. I just know they reached out to him. I don't know that he has reciprocated. Part of me is skeptical of what his level of interest would be because he's leaving a situation where his quarterback scenario wasn't ideal. Now, I'm not saying that any of Michigan's quarterbacks are going to be as inconsistent as Drew Aller was,
but it's the unknown.
but it's the unknown. Exactly. You know
It's
exactly
like,
where
hey,
I'm
yeah, you guys won the national championship and everything, but the unknown of what the quarterbacks are going to. And I think this spring game is so important. Like, for me, it's not. I don't want one guy to separate themselves. I want them to all show competency. I want
Right.
them to all play well, because now when you look in the portal, they can say, oh, they got a couple of guys that can be the guy, and I'm gonna get consistency from, and I'm gonna be able to perform. Not to mention, when you get into play action, it's a lot easier to run routes with our linebackers underneath, right? And I just think that if all those quarterbacks perform well, that changes a lot of things. But like you said, the unknown is what can stop somebody from pulling the trigger on Michigan right now as a wide receiver.
So now, but that doesn't mean there aren't leads. They're just leads. I know of. This is me talking, not me. I have some leads that I know about on guys that are not in the portal. Yeah, these are the glasses that you wear when it's the because I watch the screen so much.
Oh, the computer. Oh, I was about to say, your eyes, you can see just fine.
Yeah, my wife was like, you got to put them on. Now
put them on real quick. No, why you not doing what she told you to do? Are you not looking at the computer? Put them on.
But listen, you interrupted what I was saying.
No, put your glasses on.
I have a lead on some leads on some guys, because there are a lot of guys that are sort of weighing whether they're going to jump in the portal. Why would they do that? And how would they explore their options? There are ways where you can explore opportunities legally without having contact with the coaches. You can talk to guys from other teams, can talk to players. Guys from other teams can talk to their high school coaches.
Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh just put on, hey, if you want to transfer here, just hit me or Shiloh in our or me or Shedeur in DM.
That's how it's happening.
Completely legal.
It's completely legal.
Yeah.
Talking to guys on other teams right now. Hey, they aren't in the portal. They just say, hey, so how is it over there? How's the NIL over there? How's it going in practice? Like, all those conversations are being had between players on teams.
Sam,
players are recruiting other players.
You know what another attractive thing for a wide receiver will be, aside from competency at quarterback and whatever? You get to come and practice against Will Johnson every day, right? And when the NFL coaches and scouts start to come to practices, they get to see you going against Will Johnson. And when they look at the practice tape, they'll watch you going against Will Johnson. And you'll get the benefit of getting better from going against Will Johnson. And obviously, he'll get better from going against you if you're a talented guy. I think that that's attractive as well, right? Getting a chance to go against a pro, because we all agree it's pretty consensus that he's a bona fide pro, and people are talking about him as he might be a top 3 pick, right? So that's an attractive thing to get a chance to every single day go against a pro to see where you measure up. What kind of player are you capable of being? I think that's another attractive thing, coming and playing for Michigan as a receiver.
Yeah, so I say all of that to say, yes, there are some leads on receivers. They just may not be in the portal, but a couple of positions, they just may not be in the portal yet. So but that's how the game is played. Totally legal. How they have the legal tampering period in the NFL, which I guess is so guys can sort of assess what the options elsewhere are before they officially hit free agency and maybe go back to their teams and try to avoid all that altogether. I don't quite understand the legal tampering period in the NFL, but the legal tampering deal in college makes a whole lot of sense. Like, you don't want the drama entering the portal if you don't have to have it. Like, if you imagine you have a good situation and the only way you enter the portal is if a great situation presents itself. It's a lot of guys that are in that sort of scenario right now, because many of these guys are in good situations, and it could be Georgia or Michigan or Ohio State. Like, oh man, that'd be a great situation over there. But what does the depth chart look like? What are the coaches like? Hey, what's that NIL? Are they really getting down NIL wise up there? Like, all of that is happening right now. I'm pretty confident though that Michigan's going to add at least one receiver in the portal. I think the goal is to add 2 or 3 though.
Sam, since you mentioned Ohio State too, did you see that we talked about? You were busy talking about basketball. I was in the chat getting to it with my guys and my ladies, talking about other stuff. Did you see Ohio State do the group like the Buffs picture basically? And they got over, and then they didn't have no turnover buffs, but they did. It looked very similar to what Michigan has done. And then a coach even leaned in on kind of a Jim Harbaugh lean in pose too. Yeah, the chat didn't like that. They say, "Oh, they jocking our style."
They are.
But
They
I
are.
thought that was pretty fun. I bust out laughing. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
mean,
said, no, they're not about to do it.
they
And
said
it's
Joe
not like
Clark.
it's specifically Michigan's thing, because I remember in COVID, in the NFL, they started doing it and whatever. But as far as college, for the most part, that's been Michigan's thing. And then Ohio State, they do it in their spring games. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, man. And they said Joe Clark's like, this is the best. This defense is like Michigan's. And then I heard they said Urban Meyer said this is the best. This is the most talented team in the last 5 years. I'm like, oh, they like that.
They
Now
are
the Columbus
talented.
better than Georgia a couple years. Wow. Okay.
The quarterback play is like just like at Michigan is a question. I told you how I thought about the kid from Kansas State. Had a chance to have him a few times last year and the year before. Will Howard, and then the wild card for them is Julian Sand. Man, he's got a special kind of comment. He's slender, he's a little slight, and he's still a freshman, but he's got a special kind of ability and confidence and talent that could really help their team. So,
man, I just as we get close out, I want to say I love our people. I love our Droppin Dimes family, because Vince S just said they got a Sam Cassell defense still in Columbus. That's a dude who's been riding with us forever, DG. He's been riding with us forever.
That's another Samism. It's a lot of Samisms out there. You just make up stuff and you be killing them. So I mean,
oh my God, I appreciate you people. Gavin, he came in. He said that defense.
Janet, I got my seaweed from Costco actually just before the show.
Gavin McLean said that defense is good until they play Michigan. I love it. I
mean, they were really good last year until they played Michigan. That's true.
And Jesseology, wait, hold on. He said Janelle is visiting Michigan this weekend. Listen, I checked in, unless it's changed in the last hour and at the beginning of the show. I reached out to an ultimate supreme authority on all things Michigan basketball recruiting to say, is Janelle visiting this weekend? And I got a simple text back that said nope. So maybe that just means no, not this weekend. I'll check on that. But as of 6:01, I was told that that's not happening. At least at this point. Maybe it'll happen down the line. We'll continue to dig on it, but that's hot off the presses, Jesseology. So we try to bring it to you. We have a full list of almost full list of portal guys on the site right now. Davis Mosley, young fella, is doing a great job keeping up with that for us over on the MichiganInsider.com. There is one name that is not on it that I think Michigan is trending with, that they could very well end up with. And if that happens, we will bring that to you over on the MichiganInsider.com as well. Next time we see you, though, we'll be recapping the spring game. We appreciate you, ladies. Drop your contact information in the chat for DG.
Oh my gosh, be quiet.
He is single.
No, hold on, time out. That's true. But this is what I need to say. And this is nothing about what you was talking about, because you just be talking crazy. I want everybody, this is including Sam, AK, what was the other one? Dexter, all y'all, keep that same energy. I don't know what it could be by Wednesday next week when we do the show, but y'all better pray. Y'all better pray and hope that the Lakers are not in position to win that series. Y'all better hope and pray. I'm telling you, it's gonna be insufferable. We might not be able to get through the show. I'm just telling you.
Hey, Steve Horn said
I might go as far as to break down clips on why they were so dominant. Don't just.
Hey, and I love Steve Horn. Steve Horn, I forgive you for getting me in trouble with my wife when the lady, she busted in the room. I was out in L.A. The waitress, but not the waitress, but the housekeeper busted in the room. And Steve Horn tried to bring some drama to the chat, man. Like, hey, man, that was totally.
Tell grandma I said what's up.
Hey, and Steve Cherry, Buckeye Steve, for you to think we're some clowns. You in this show every week.
Cherry Blossom be here more than me. I feel like Cherry Blossom be here more than me at this point. Like, cause I missed it. I don't think he missed. He be in this thing
all the time.
Hey, just lame as can be. My
goodness, I understand.
Get a life, psycho.
You want some real intel, some real football knowledge, some real commentary. some truthisms. We'll give it to you.
Hey, on Friday, what'd he say? He better not lose to Michigan this year. He gonna cry in the car. Cherry gonna cry in the car. If he's doing all this, coming to this and whatever, he is gonna cry. He probably already crying a little bit at the thought of maybe losing to Michigan again. I'm sorry. Dang, Cherry. Cherry Blossom.
He's coming back.
He know the times and everything. He be here on time.
Show up every week. All right. But hey, you know what? Keep helping our numbers. We appreciate that. That'll do it for us here on another edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. We appreciate you. Tell all your friends about us. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll know whenever we get down with another episode. We will not have a Monday morning quarterback on the spring game. All right. I mean,
we just come to that's what we did. You need to tweet it out. We will not have Monday morning quarterback. Come to Dropping Dimes. You come to Dropping Dimes, you're gonna get your whole eval on the spring game, which I anticipate is gonna be a glorious occasion. I think it's gonna be really fun. Fox is doing it nationally for the first time, and it'd be good.
Yeah. So what are you on the field? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Did you just say?
I'm not doing it. Fox is doing it. I'm not doing the game.
What Fox? what are we? What the hell is that?
I got UFL games this week.
What the hell is that, Fox? The preeminent commentator voice on Michigan football. You coming to town?
It's crazy.
All your talent that want to know about Michigan, call DG. All of them. Hey man, I was sitting in the steakhouse in Indianapolis. Joe Clatt walked by and he stopped to look at me just to see if DG was there, so he could get some intel. I'm just saying.
Hey man, I got a couple UFL games. I'll be there in spirit.
That's ridiculous, Fox. You slipping.
Wait, Corey G, why are you booing me? I didn't choose to not do the game. Crazy. What is that all about?
I got rid of Reggie Bush. Now I got to work overtime. I got to get the spring game right too, Fox. I need a consultation fee or something. Anyway, that's going to do it for us on another episode of Steady Dropping Dimes. By the way, it can be a quagmire getting in and out of on game days, right? Even on the spring game where the population is going to increase, it's going to be hard to move around. You know what you can do? And Ben, if you can do this for me, if you can grab this tweet from our friends at Golden Limo International. They are offering rides. Spring game day. Rides that you certainly can take. I know during the season, that's what I do. When I need a ride, sometimes my wife, she takes me to most games. But when I can't get my wife to get me to a game, I ride on Golden Limo. Golden Limo is a resource that will drop you off, pick you up from a location around the stadium. It takes all the guesswork out. And right now, you can see your Wolverines in action at the spring game, and you can ride on Golden to get there. Do not miss out on the opportunity. Michigan rides on Golden, and you can too. Any of your ground transportation needs, whether it's game day transports, most people need airport transportation. That's what I use them for most of the time. They're there 15 minutes at your residence or place of pickup every single time. No, a half hour, as a matter of fact. Every single time they're early to pick you up. They take care of your bags. They get you to the location. And if you need service to pick you up at your destination, our friends at Golden Limo can handle that too. And the same thing in reverse. Even if you're traveling abroad, we've had that experience with Golden Limo. So I'm telling you right now, they have transports down to the NFL draft. For those of you who are going to be making draft, who wants to park at the NFL draft next week? Any of y'all want to park at the NFL draft next week? It is going to be a zoo. Ride on Golden. Our friends at goldenlimo.com. Same thing, like I said, with game day transports. They're going to have special transports to the Jazz Fest in Detroit this summer, the Jazz Fest at Ford Lake as well. Golden Limo has you covered from A to Z right here in Washtenaw County. You can always figure out how you can ride on Golden by going to goldenlimo.com. That is going to do it for this edition of Steady Dropping Dimes, folks. We will see you all next week.
Hey, Sam, hold on. Keep that same energy, brother.
I got you, DG.